his strength training, I did every week, I trained with a power lifter, so he was very big on developing the posterior chain, the hamstrings, the glutes, the low back. And so every week I did glute-ham raises and or reverse hypers at least once a week each. Sometimes I did each of these maybe twice a week. And I really attribute a lot of that back then to helping me develop a strong back and hamstrings and glutes, which I honestly think laid a good foundation for my sort of strength training ability all the way through until now. So setup wise, it's got two main adjustments, right? You can turn the knob here and pull the pin and slide the thing forward and back to adjust the length based on how long your legs are. And also you can raise the foot plate up and down as well. So the first exercise, which is probably one of the most basic ones that you can do on here, is just a basic, I always call it a back extension. If you've gone to a level 1 CrossFit seminar, it's a hip extension, which I suppose technically is the more accurate way to describe it. Basically what you want to do is set up the foot plate so that when you get in here and you put your ankle against the top pad on the back, the roller should come across the middle or upper aspect of your thighs, right? And then what you want to do, you can hold the hands here, cross them behind your head, your choice, but basically hinge at the hip, keep the back flat, and then pull yourself back up by squeezing the glutes, right? Just like so. If you have the foot plate too far back, the roller is going to start to hinder your hips from being able to pivot and rotate down. What's going to happen is the roller is going to be back here more. You're going to try to pivot at the hips. It's going to hit you in the stomach, and then it's going to cause your back to round. So make sure that you're far enough forward so that you can pivot right at the hips and keep your back flat. The next exercise, and this is more what this was actually designed for, is pretty challenging, but if you can work up to it, it is a great hamstring exercise, and that's the actual glute-ham raise. You're going to have to slide the foot plate a little bit closer. So I've experimented, I know that for me, I want it on number 9. There. And now, if the foot plate is too low, it's going to make this kind of awkward, especially with this little thing here, which don't even need that, but whatever. So now you're going to get in it. The roller is going to be lower on your quads. I like to start in the up position. And notice here, if you look at my feet, I'm pushing very hard with my toes into the toe plate, right? So my calves are engaged, and I'm trying to drive my knees forward into the roller. If I don't do that, then I'm just resting my knees here, and that's going to take away from how well you can develop the hamstrings. So push with the toes into the toe plate, squeeze your butt, keep your spine nice and neutral, extend out until the knees go straight, and then pull back up using the hamstrings. And you'll notice as I come up, I'm still pushing against the toe plate with my toes, try to drive my knees forward into the rollers, and I'm not actually resting on this knee pad down here. Try to keep driving into it. That exercise will be really, really tough. Ways to scale it, right? You could do negatives. Where you start in the up position, you lower yourself really, really, really slow until the knees are straight, hands on the handle, get back into position, start up, and then slowly go out again, just like that. Build up to being able to do maybe 10 or 15 of those, right? And then if you can do that, then you should be a lot closer to being able to lower yourself and then pull back up. There's some other technical things that you can do, like common faults and things. If you've got questions, talk to a coach, we can help you out. That's the basic how-tos of it. And then lastly, I'll show this because I know some of you want to know how to do these, are glute-ham developer sit-ups, which, if you think about the name, this is a GHD, glute-ham developer, glutes and hams. It's not intended to be used for sit-ups. However, thanks to CrossFit, they thought that we can make sit-ups better by doing them on this thing. So if you're going to do them, here's how. You're going to want to slide the foot plate back, probably back to where it was when you're doing the hip extensions, now you're going to sit on it, right? Now your top of your ankles are going to be against the top roller. You're going to lay back until your knees touch the floor, and then as you sit up, I'm going to violently extend my knees, right? What that does is that activates the quads and the hip flexors and helps to pull me up, right? So I can let my knees bend here, and then I flex the quads to sit up. Now, be careful with this. The reason I'm not a big fan is because it puts your spine into an extremely hyperextended position, and then into a pretty good flexed position. Lots of repeated bending in the back, right, is not good for it. Just like, well, that's why we don't do deadlift and do kettlebell swings with the rounded back. We want to keep the spine as neutral as possible. So use this predominantly for hip or back extensions and glute-ham raises. If you can't hold an L-sit, do strict toes to the bar, legitimate hollow holds and hollow rocks, don't bother with doing sit-ups on this yet. Get stronger in those static holds, right? Work on the flexibility in your hip flexors, all of that, before you bother with sit-ups on here. Ask Coach if you got more questions, guys, but that's the basics of the glute-ham development.